this is going start over. This is going to be a quick tutorial on all the various forms of barbell row. We'll cover different hand grips, different heights of the barbell, and some of the prerequisites. And that leads me right into the beginning. Some of the prerequisites you're going to need are sufficient mobility to be able to row from all of the various heights, core strength to be able to hold a rigid posture while you're rowing, and probably just like a basic technical knowledge of form and an idea of what you're trying to accomplish. I'll add that it's also very good to have an idea of the anatomy you're trying to work, and I'll explain some of that as we talk about the different hand positions and different heights. So get right into it. The first most simple form of a barbell row is just going to be like slightly outside of shoulder width grip. So somewhere on the rings, you're going to want to put your hands, and I always stand up with the bar first. Stand all the way up with it. You'll be able to lower down in a position and create more serious tension versus just picking it up right off the floor and going for it. So stand all the way up. Make sure you get tight, lower down in the position, slight knee bend always. And we'll talk about the most serious version first, which is going to be floating just off the floor. You feel the tension in your legs. You're going to shrug those shoulder blades down and back together, and then just drive through the elbows. You always want to hold that squeeze for a moment. That's position one. It's going to hit the whole back pretty evenly. If you want to hit more of the upper back, traps, rear delts, rhomboids a little bit, upper lat, you just widen your grip. Me, I'm fine going almost all the way out to the collars. Depending on your height, that will change. It's all pretty much the same. Stand all the way up, lower down as close as you're comfortable to the floor to get as high as possible. Some people even stand on plates to get even more of a stretch. Shoulders back, elbows straight out in the line of the bar. If they come back a little bit, you're defeating the purpose of using a wider hand position. If you want to hit closer to the center column of your back, all along the erectors, the traps, the rhomboids, you can use a really close grip. In this version, you're probably going to have to stand a little higher. So stand all the way up. I'll come to maybe just above the knee, right on or just below. Come down here and you're going to row up and into your hip. I'll change my angle so you can see that. Straight up and towards you. So it's not a vertical path, it's more of a diagonal path. And that's an advanced movement technique. You'll see a lot of people when they row. It's if they're new and rowing all arms, they don't really set into their core as much. You really want to make sure that getting the shoulders down, driving through the elbows. All of this is just hooks, they're just ropes, okay? These are hooks, these are ropes. In your upper arm bone, your shoulder blades are doing all of the motion. If you want to get more technical with it, you're going to be using a little more lat, a little more low back action. Reverse hand grip. You're also going to get more bicep and trap action. That one I also usually do from just above the knee, right? And I'll go for, like, if you want a good pump, go for 12 squeeze for a moment, lower down slow. I also sometimes like to use fat grips for these. And again, it's not a vertical path. My thigh's on a bit of an angle, and I'm following that direction as I row. I'm actually like really trying to make sure I secure that squeeze. And T-bar row. That's one a lot of people do wrong. So you'd be using an attachment like this. Hook it around the bar. My toes, I'm gonna line up with the collar of the barbell. Right around there is usually a good starting point. And again, you always wanna make sure you stand it all the way up. And they call it London bridging in a position. Make sure you're getting as much of a stretch as possible. So I'm letting it touch the ground right here, okay? And then again, it's up and back towards your hip. Always trying to pull low and slow. The back is mostly an isometric muscle group, so it's usually working as a stabilizer for most of your movements. So you don't need to go explosive with anything. You don't need to go fast. I just work that squeeze and always work the stretch. You're going to get a much better feel that way. And if you want to go towards what I think is one of the hardest versions of the row, it's going to be the pendlay row. So in this version, it does develop explosive power in the back musculature. You let the barbell touch the floor every rep. You don't lose your core tension, you maintain that always, but explode, set it down, and again, it's one of my favorites. Body weight for 10 is usually a good starting goal. As far as barbell row, I think that pretty much covers it. You can get a little more specific if you're using different resistances like rubber bands, dumbbells, or cables, but the basic concept is pretty much the same. You're always going for the stretch, letting that shoulder go. Spinal alignment is always there, but then it's shoulders down and back, then elbows. And you're pulling with the posture that you want to maintain for the rest of your life. You would never work out with terrible posture like that. Obviously that's going to be all arms, set down into your core, and rep ranges usually, I wouldn't go lower than 5. As high as 20. Any more than that, you're doing more cardio than actual muscle. But sets, maybe 3 up to 10 if you're really, really crazy. I think that about covers it though. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know how you like it. Thanks.